Welcome to Psycho Core. Today, we'll dive into one of the deepest and most mysterious ideas of Carl Gustav Jung, the concept of the collective unconscious. Why are we afraid of the dark, even when we know there's nothing there? Why do the same images, dragons, wise old men, nurturing mothers, appear across cultures that never met? And why do we keep repeating the same life patterns, falling for the wrong people, feeling guilt for no reason, running from ourselves? Maybe the answer isn't in your childhood, or your past experiences, or even your conscious choices. Maybe the answer lies deeper, beyond you, as you know yourself, in the realm of something larger, something ancient. There begins the collective unconscious. Jung believed that inside each of us lies not only a personal unconscious, with forgotten memories, repressed emotions, and old wounds, but also something universal. Something we don't invent but inherit. A shared human experience carried across generations. It speaks through our dreams, fantasies, desires, fears, and even our life decisions. In this video, we'll explore what the collective unconscious is and how it actually works. Why it silently shapes our behaviors and patterns, and how this knowledge can help you better understand yourself, your choices, and your emotional loops. The ones that trap you in the past or in fantasies of the future. Because unless we become aware of what moves us from within, we can never truly be free. What is the collective unconscious? The collective unconscious is not a fantasy. It's not mysticism, not mythology. It is a real, structural part of the human psyche, shared by all of us, even if we've never thought about it. Carl Jung described it as a layer of the psyche, deeper than anything personal. If your personal unconscious holds your repressed memories, forgotten feelings, and private wounds, then the collective unconscious is something you're born with. It's not made, it's inherited. Think of it as an inner library, a place where timeless images, patterns, and reactions are stored. They've repeated themselves for thousands of years. We don't invent these images. We rediscover them in dreams, stories, fears, and moments of falling in love. Jung called these ancient images archetypes, and they operate in us, whether we believe in them or not. Archetypes are the living language of the unconscious. Within each of us lives the archetype of the mother, the hero, the betrayer, the death. We don't learn these figures from books. We feel them from childhood. You fear the dark room because the image of the shadow silently arises. You search for the one because your anima or animus is in motion. You crave change, escape, a new beginning, not just because you want it, but because the hero inside you is awakening. Archetypes don't speak in words. They speak through dreams, myths, through the strange pull you feel towards some people, and the disgust you feel toward others. And unless we recognize them, they remain in the shadows, and everything that stays in shadow rules us from within. How the collective unconscious shows up in our lives. Now comes the most fascinating part. The collective unconscious isn't some faraway myth. It's not locked inside ancient stories or fairy tales. It's happening right now, in your everyday life. You fall in love, perfectly, madly, and then everything falls apart. Why? It might be a projection of the anima or animus, the inner image of the opposite gender that lives in each of us. Sometimes we don't really see the person in front of us. We see our archetype, an image of the ideal, the magical, the long lost. We get stuck in it, blind to who the person actually is. We think we're in love, but in truth, we're experiencing a symbol. And when the archetype loses its glow, we feel empty. Or maybe you feel there's something dark inside you, anger, jealousy, shame, but you push it away. You hide it. That's the shadow at work. The archetype of everything we don't want to see in ourselves. The collective unconscious holds these images because they've existed in everyone. Warriors, witches, traders, hunters. We didn't invent them. We inherited them. But when we reject the shadow, it doesn't disappear. It lives on. In your emotional outbursts, in sudden hatred, in the people you can't stand, because they reflect your hidden self. Maybe you feel guilt towards your mother, or you live under her expectations. Or, no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to connect. This could be the great mother archetype. Not just your real mother, but the deeper symbol of the mother as fate, as power, as life force. This archetype is like a two-faced goddess. On one side, warmth, nurturing, love. On the other, control, guilt, the crushing of your will. And until you learn to separate your actual mother from the archetypal mother, you will never truly be free. These archetypes don't exist to ruin us. They exist to help us become whole. Carl Jung once said, "The meeting with oneself is one of the most unpleasant, but most necessary experiences." Because when you face your inner hero, your shadow, your mother, or your anima, you stop being a puppet of the unconscious. You begin to wake up, to ask yourself, what's moving me right now? Is it truly me, or a script that's thousands of years old? How to work with the collective unconscious. So, what do we do with all of this? How do we stop being pawns of the archetypes and start turning them into allies? Carl Jung believed that the central task of life is individuation, the path to becoming truly yourself, not a copy, not a projection, not a role assigned by your family or society, but a whole integrated being who meets the unconscious instead of running from it. Write down your dreams. Dreams, Jung said, are the doors to the collective unconscious. What we ignore during the day returns at night, in the form of symbols, stories, disasters, strangers, emotions, in fears, in surreal images. Keep a dream journal, not as a ritual, but as a mirror. You'll start to notice repeating symbols: water, falling, a person in a mask. These aren't random, they're messages. Pay attention to strong emotions. When someone deeply irritates you, unexpectedly attracts you, triggers or repels you, ask yourself, am I seeing this person clearly? Or am I projecting an archetype onto them? Maybe what disturbs you is your shadow. Maybe what attracts you is your inner anima. Maybe you're not angry at them. You're angry at a part of yourself you don't want to see. And this moment is a chance for growth. Practice self-observation, not self-blame. Integration doesn't mean fixing yourself. It means seeing yourself honestly, without masks. If you feel envy, don't hide it. Say, that's my shadow, I see it. If you notice you're trying to save someone again, pause. This isn't me. This is the savior archetype. Only what we recognize can we choose. Think symbolically. Read the deeper layers. Pay attention to what repeats in dreams, in books, in your life. Jung believed that the world speaks to us in symbols. If your life feels like a movie about a hero who never finishes the journey, that's not just coincidence. That's the archetype calling. It's time to go further. This inner work isn't easy. The unconscious won't give in right away. It hides, it resists. But every step you take is less autopilot, more awareness, more choice. Because true freedom isn't about choosing everything. It's about knowing why you choose what you choose. You are not just a personality. You are a wave in the ocean of the human psyche. It's not only your voice that speaks within you, but the voices of your ancestors. Their fears, dreams, wounds, and symbols all live in you. But this is not a curse. It's your power. As long as we don't know what drives us, we walk in circles. But the moment we take that first honest step, the archetypes begin to shift from shadows into allies. Individuation is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming honest. About having the courage to see yourself, raw, contradictory, vulnerable, but real. So where do you start? Start by observing yourself, not just living. Write down your dreams. Ask yourself, what's speaking through me right now? Is it truly me, or something older, archetypal. And don't be afraid. When you see your shadow, that's not the end. That's the beginning of becoming whole. And remember, this path is not yours alone. Many have walked it before you, and because of them, you now have the chance to see a little deeper. Now it's your turn to carry that understanding forward. Thank you for being here. You're on the Psycho Core channel, and if you've made it this far, you've already begun your journey toward a deeper self. There are many more discoveries ahead. So, subscribe, hit the bell, and always remember, your true self is always deeper than it seems.